Another thing I should have brought up is by default this local is turned on. So what that means is I'm going to use W. We'll move this way out and then hold down W and then shift and just pull this out. So now let's say I dynamesh these together, and this is a fire hydrant man or something, and I'm sculpting, and I want to start making some hands. So I'm gonna mask that, invert it, and then just start pulling stuff out for thumbs. And if I'm over here sculpting on the thumb, for example, I'm like, okay, I'm sculpting in thumbnail detail here, and I'm rotating around, and okay, I'm sculpting on the thumb, and I'm adding a nail here, and I'm like, okay, I want to start sculpting on his face. So now I'm going to start sculpting his face over here. And now when I start rotating my camera, it's going to be around the last point that I touched. So if I touch over here on his thumb, now it's rotating around his thumb. If I touch on the top of his head, now it's rotating on top of his head. Thumb rotates around his thumb. Whatever your last point is picked. That's by default, and that's usually pretty good because usually when you're sculpting on something, you want to rotate around that point that you're working on. If you turn that off, we'll hit F to frame, which again is this button right here. If you turn that off, now if I sculpt on this eyeball here and I rotate, it's gonna be okay. If I start sculpting on this thumb though, it's like, okay, I'm sculpting on the thumb here, and I start rotating, it's gonna go way off my page because now it's just based on your world axis. So if it's close to the center, you're probably not gonna notice, but as soon as you start trying to sculpt away from your object and rotate, it's gonna go off your screen. So generally speaking, you're just gonna want that on. And I think that's it. So you know what? Get in there, have some fun. There's a lot of strengths to this program, and it's pretty simplified. Like I was able to do this entire tutorial in a day. So a lot of cool stuff going on here. Really, really easy to get in and start creating, and most importantly, having a lot of fun.